Now, the Fed only has 25 countries, but that's not enough countries. So what we did is we actually we're working with the Earthport, and so to supply us the rest of the world. So now, May of this year, or middle of April, we'll have 213 countries, and we actually are the approved sending point for the Federal Reserve and for Earthport. Earthport likes us a lot because of the fact that you know, if you're a bank of any size, if you're going to work with Earthport, you're going to have to go develop your own technology to connect to them. But we've already done that for you. It makes your job a lot easier. You can just plug and play. So, let's see. Talk about that. So now I'm going to do my best and toggle over to the internet. Bingo, there we are. So when you log in our system, you see there's a drop-down box. Get my little flasher here, pointer. And many of you say, okay, there are many banks, we have several thousand that use our system for currency exchange, but many of them wanted to use our system for international payments, but they want the same look and feel as our currency exchange. So we built it so that all the banks and credit unions that use our system already, there'll be no transition. They can go straight to this. They're used to the screens already. You just drop down the box, international payments, type in Italy, and how many foreign units you want to send. In this case, I want to send 900 euros to Italy. So now, I hope this hasn't timed me out because I've been doing this for a while. And it hasn't. So now, you have a choice to send the euros in dollars, which we don't suggest you do, because there will be a beneficiary deduction if you do that, or euros. So today, we're going to send it in euros. It'll click. Nothing happening yet? There it is. Yeah. A little slow here. Not exactly fast. So this is the screen. Now, if you're business to business, don't really worry about all this disclaimer stuff. This is just for the consumer side. So if you wanted to put this behind your online banking, for instance, this is what your consumer would see, right? If your teller did it and it's a business transaction, then they wouldn't necessarily have to see all this verbiage about what the CFPB requires you to put in there. So in this case, you got 900 euros converting. 1,022.97 cents, almost $1,023 converting to 900 euros. And then the transaction fee here is 15. It could be anything, because the actual cost is $1.25. So you could make it 10, you could make it 15, but it won't be 50. I mean, it shouldn't be. And then we hit add to the cart. So we do that. We're live here on the internet. Now this one is kind of interesting. You know what, Jeremy? If I talk, it'd be easier if you type this in, so I can stand out here and tell them what we're doing.
Absolutely.
So he's going to type in 12345 which is like a fake account number. Okay.
It's not my account.
And so then he's going to click on checking, and then the sender's name will be Rachel Test. Populates here, but look what happens. You don't have to type all that in. So once you've done it once, you've done it, you're done. And then Rachel she happens to send euros to the same person, more than once. Her mother's name is test member, whatever. But when you click on that, it'll populate the rest of that. So it's just the first time you have to enter all this information. After that, you don't have to. But what's interesting is the bank country, the transit number, the bank name, and the account number. All that is verified through SWIFT. We have a direct interface with SWIFT. So you click on, he won't do it now, but you click on check BIC. I'm sorry. Got something in my throat. It'll verify that account number and that the bank name is associated with that particular beneficiary's account. So now let's add the cart. Actually, we're almost through. A couple more screens. And we're almost through.
So
You're so nice, Jen.
I left at the wrong time.
Thank you so much.
I went to get you water, but I missed
so
what
much.
Swift verifies. So do they know that it's test member?
Yeah.
Or do they just know that the routing and transit is appropriate?
Well, test member is the person that's going to be
That's what I'm
receiving the
saying.
money,
So do
right?
they verify the person?
So
or
they're
do they-
verifying the account number and the bank name is associated with that account number, making sure that it's all the same.
Got it.
As well as associated with the country.
And associated with the country.
And it's the correct number of digits.
Right.
But they
And-
don't do an account validation, just the.
No, it's not account
and then
validation.
Not a person
That it's
validation,
proper
it's
big
an
number.
It won't do an
associated.
account validation
Correct.
receipt.
It does do validation that is associated with that bank, though.
Which is a
Okay.
validation.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that way they're not sending it to some random bank.
got it.
Because, you know, not always does the consumer know what an IBAN is or what the account number they need. Sorry.
So now when we click that, we're going to continue to the next screen.
It's just a little slow right now.
Hotel's a little slow. All right, so now with the customer's information here, all he has to do is enter an email address. You could put none if you want, and none, and then continue. A lot of times you guys want to offer us a promotional code, you may do so. Make it free, make it $5, whatever. We can work with you on that. And then we're going to debit that account, or actually you'll be debiting the customer's account. And click on that. See, it all populates. Same information. We're almost done here. Now it gives you a chance to make any changes last minute. If you want to change the name, if you got something wrong, you can go for the customer if you want. Otherwise, just click on checkout. Click checkout. There we go. Okay, now here's where it gets fun. This part is all CFP required. If you're B2B, don't worry about this part. But if you're going to put this behind online banking, I had to show it to you. Okay? So you can select 95 different languages. So in other words, if your customer is a Vietnamese and he or she could barely speak English, but you're trying to communicate as best you can, you can click on Vietnamese and it'll translate this entire page in Vietnamese. There it is up there. Click it so you can see what it looks like. Watch this.
Anybody speak Vietnamese?
Well, I want to make sure this is right. Can all of you verify this is right? So now, go back to English, so we'll know what we're doing here.
And also, when you hover over it, it'll tell you what it is in English.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So it makes you an international language expert overnight. Let's go to the bottom, next slide, or at least click on, not slide, click on the next screen. I wanna
Is the
slide down.
translation just by Google Translate, or is that?
It's a translator. We have a built-in translator.
But is it like someone approved the translation, or is it just simply by Google Translate?
It's Google Translate, yeah. All right, so then we have all this other information. Where do you pick up the money overseas, the account number, blah, blah, blah. The cart summary is all here. How many USD, the transfer fee, whatever amount you decide to put in there. Going live, I think it was 20. And then the CFPP ruling. See, this is all just CFPP stuff. Okay, we have an opt-out for 30 minutes. The customer can opt out. All that's built in the system electronically. And this can be emailed. This entire page can be emailed to the customer. But if it's a business to business, forget about it. You don't have to do that. So click on I understand, and let's move on to the next page. Well, let's see. That's good. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The receipt page looks just like this. I don't want to make it. If I click the next page, it's going to become a live transaction, and I don't really want to send this transaction to the Federal Reserve today. They may get a little upset. So anyway,
Look like
that is simple as it is. I mean, we are the front end solution for Earthport and for the Federal Reserve, so that you guys don't have to build a front end interface. You can put this behind online banking.
Do single sign-on?
We do single sign-on, depends who you are. I mean, there's so many different single sign-ons. And the answer is yes. What bank are you with?
MUFG.
And we can, I mean, we just talk to your IT people, say, who's your provider, let's talk. Takes about a week or so.
What about the exchange rates? Who drives that?
Well, the Fed will drive the exchange rates to
Okay.
us, and then there's a markup, and we work with you on the markup. Depend upon how much you want to mark it up.
So that's after the fact, like, so that's B2B transaction between you and the bank, so that you're buying the currency, the bank's
Right.
paying you for that, is that
Right.
what's happening?
We're not really, I mean, it's more like the Fed
The
has
Fed.
agreed upon the exchange rates. They're close to spot. Earthports might be close to spot with a little bump, not much. And then you guys bump what you want, and we kind of work with you on that.
Can you private label and
Yes, we do have
customization?
private label. Yeah. So you can have your logo all over it, and nobody even knows where it
So as
exists.
far as the debit to the customer's account, is that an integration to your DDA core system?
No, so we don't have anything to do with the debits. I mean, we're strictly, you guys would be debits in your customer's account.
There's
The
no
Fed would debit to your account. We don't touch the money at all. We just,
So you're
we
not a
just-
money services
no,
business?
No. We just strictly touch the files and move the files.
Just make-
I call us a really fancy
That's a
pigeon
ginger.
carrier. I gave an example yesterday. I was at Ripple's headquarters yesterday, and I was visiting with this guy. We're working, possibly doing a few countries with them as well in the future. But it was kind of funny. He says, "I want to understand your model more." So I'm going back a lot of years, but let's just talk about this. When I was in college, early 70s, I got a job as a sophomore in college at a bank. I walked into the bank. I was working there in the investment department. They were showing me their office. They walked over and says, "See this big machine? It's about that big, about like this. This is called a facsimile machine." I said, "Oh yeah, I remember that." But the guy over in another part of the state that you're going to send this document to must have one too. Well, that's sort of the Ripple concept. You know, if it's two banks, you got to have both banks on their software platform, which kind of makes it problematic in most of our worlds today. But anyway, I thought that was interesting. But anyway, any more questions? I know that we have another session coming up. Good questions, though. Thank you. Thank you.
So you you just basically charge the bank, and the bank can mark it up, and
Well, yeah, we
Pretty
share
much.
we share the profits. We don't charge the bank for our system at all. It's free. You could just you get our system, you get all the bells and whistles that go with it. We've already spent our millions of dollars developing it, and then you guys use it, and then you would just we work with you on a markup, and we partake in
Is
that
there a
markup.
contract between the FI and Earthport?
There will be an agreement between the FI and the but we're still working on that because I have meetings with their lawyers next week. Depends on the debiting. If they debit your account, then there'll probably be a contract agreement.
So you're just providing the front end GUI?
That's
So
right.
Basically what
That's
you're
right.
doing. Okay.
And
Yes.
integration to the online banking application of the bank. So if the bank's going to authenticate them, and can you talk about your experience there?
We're actually working with some pretty large companies on the integration of online banking platform. I really can't say who it is yet. It's a big one. But we have done that already, and we'll continue to do it. We haven't done it with this particular product. We did with the currency exchange product. But we'll be doing that with this product as well, behind online banking. And
So your model today is you issue a credential, the user interfaces with you.
Right.
So you've either one got to have a credential to your customer, or the bank's got to do the work.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
can you say who you're working with today, like in the market at all?
Oh yeah, well, like there was a lady here a minute ago, Star One. They're using our system. There's about, I don't know, there's quite a few that's using our system now. But when we get all the countries next month, then we're going to have more like 500-600 users on the program.
So you'll have access to all of the current Earthport countries that they're in today?
Yes, we will in April.
In
Once
April,
once
okay.
that goes live, yeah. That's between them and the Feds, like 213 countries.
Who's connected to OFAC?
We connect to OFAC. We built.
Who's
Do you do the?
We do
Are
it.
you're doing
we
it, so
did
you
it.
take the liability for that?
Absolutely.
In your contract, you take the liability for that?
It's not in the contract.
happened.
It's not in the contract. But we have developed it. We've developed the interface about 5 years ago, works flawlessly. We check, the Department of Banking comes in, checks it every year, and it's
You
very
have audit
efficient.
rights to it, okay.
Every night at midnight it updates.